Hi everybody, welcome back. Well, are you wanting to plan a Mediterranean cruise, but you just get so overwhelmed by all the choices and don't know where to start? Well, today I'm going to give you my tips and help you out to make it more easy. So I had recently asked in a cruise video if you guys had any questions, and this is one of them that came up, and I thought, you know what, this is great because I often get asked, how do we choose what cruises we go on? How do we decide? And I know when booking a Mediterranean cruise or just Europe in general, it can be very overwhelming because the choices just seem limitless. So I'm going to kind of give you how I go about the process, and that will maybe give you some tips on what to look for to help you out. So we did take our Mediterranean cruise a couple of years ago. I do have an outfit video with that I will link below. And I kind of give you a little bit of recap along the way too on what ports we were at, any little tidbits like that. It's not like a full-on vlog or anything, but you may enjoy watching it. So I will link that. I would say one of the first things is ask yourself, where do you want to go? What are some major ports that are must-sees? Maybe list like 2 or 3, have those in mind and go from there, because certain itineraries will hit certain ports depending on if it's like Eastern Mediterranean, Western, if it's Northern Europe. So once you have that in mind, then that will guide you on what to look for. Because if you're like us, sometimes you can't get all the heavy hitters in one cruise, because maybe it starts in Rome and it goes south and you want to hit Rome, but maybe a couple of places in Croatia or maybe a couple of places in Greece, and you might not be able to get all of those. And maybe it's one of those, if you have enough time, you could do like 2 back-to-back cruises. That is an easy way to get a lot of bang for your buck and see multiple different cities. So for instance, let's say if you do want to go to Greece, you could either leave out of Greece and see all of Greece, or you could leave, like, say, out of Rome and hit a couple of ports in Greece, but then also a couple ports in, or maybe Croatia, like I mentioned. I wanted to kind of get the best of everything when we went, the most of everything. There were a couple of ports that were definitely must-haves for me, so I kept that in mind when I was doing my search. Now, as far as like an actual search, if you have a favorite cruise line, you can just go to that cruise line's website and look to see what they offer. If you are open for time, that gives you even more to choose from. If you want it narrowed down, maybe you're celebrating a special birthday or anniversary, so you say, I want to cruise like in July or September, then obviously narrow that down and see what comes up. If you want to go to a certain port, but maybe they didn't go there in that month, they went the next month, because a lot of times the itineraries will flip-flop. So they go down one way and maybe come back another. Sometimes they'll do round trip. Maybe you know how many nights you have free. I would say the average is going to be about 9, 10 nights on a Mediterranean cruise. Or maybe the port you would like to leave out of. Say you want to go out of Barcelona, which is a very popular port, and you want to spend a couple of days there, then look at the cruises that go out of Barcelona, or the same for Rome. That's definitely something I recommend, is whatever port you go out of, I would arrive 2 to 3 days ahead of time, because you are going overseas in most cases, unless you're already coming from somewhere in Europe. You want to allow yourself the time change difference to get used to that, and any flight delays. And then that way you can explore the city as well. So we look up a couple of different cruise websites first. I always use the cruise line website. I look on there, see what's available. Are they offering any specials at the time I want to cruise, or just in general for those cruises? I will also look up Vacations to Go. That's a long time cruise site that I've used. I've actually booked through them. They're great. They have great customer service. They often have inexpensive prices because they can buy such a big bulk of rooms and cruises, but maybe you won't get as many perks like onboard credit as you would through other agencies or the cruise line. So something to keep in mind, but I usually compare about 3 different places. I also will look on Cruises Only. I think that was one of the first websites my husband and I ever used, like almost 25 years ago when we booked our first cruise. They're a great one too, just to see what's out there. I like looking at that a lot of times because it just gives me that overview of Mediterranean cruises or Caribbean cruises, and I'll just see what's out there and see the dates. And then I start to kind of fine tune, like I said, with what ports do I want to go? When do they have those available? I will list the travel agent I have used before, the Vacation to Go website, any cruise websites, anything like that I mentioned, I will link them below. So once you start narrowing down, honestly, what I do is I just get out a pad of paper and start writing it down. Literally, like, just say, oh, I want to this is Celebrity Beyond. It goes out of Rome. It goes to these ports. And I put down about 5 or more cruises on the piece of paper. My husband and I look at it together. We kind of go back and forth. Would we rather have this port over this if we just can't get everything we want? Or timing, anything like that. You know, again, there's a lot of things to take in consideration depending on when and why you're going. If you have dates, if your dates are open, you're wide open, then you got the best of everything. You pretty much pick and choose when you want. Typically, the European cruising season is about, I would say, May to September. It does go a little bit earlier, like April to October, but I would say the bulk of the season is going to be in the summer. So that's also going to be when it's the most crowded too, and the most hot. So keep that in mind. Say if you want to get a deal, maybe go early, like at the beginning of the season in mid to late April, or go late in October. There will be less crowds. I would definitely say when it comes to a European cruise to pick itinerary over cruise line. However, I did mention this in that video of mine with the Mediterranean cruise. We did that. We were definitely looking at who had the best itinerary, because certain cruise lines I feel like do have better itineraries than others. So we went with cruise itinerary first and then cruise line. Now, if you have loyalty points with certain cruises, you may still want to look at them. I mean, we do with several cruise lines since we cruise so much, but I definitely picked itinerary first. Although obviously you still want to be comfortable when you are back on the ship, but for most of those that are port heavy, meaning you're visiting somewhere every day, I would definitely keep that in mind first. So something to keep in mind when we're talking about ports is that most European Mediterranean cruises are very port heavy, meaning you are just going somewhere back to back to back. So a tip I do have about that too, as far as excursions, I wouldn't book too many in a row, because you might be really tired. Or if maybe you have a late excursion one day, like it does not get into later. For instance, we had one in Florence and Pisa. It was an all day long. We didn't get back till really late. I would have not been happy to have one the next morning, like super early. So something to keep in mind, maybe spread out your excursions on there, because it's not as much rest time as like a typical Caribbean cruise where you have days at sea. Not saying you might not have any, but typically there's not very many because everything is so close together. Something to also think about too, when I said the embarkation port, what is easy for you to get to? Maybe from where you live, what part of the country, maybe it's easier for you to fly to Athens than Barcelona, or like where I live, it's easier to fly into Rome than Athens. So that's something to keep in mind too, maybe when you're narrowing down. A common question I always see get asked is like, obviously where to stay in a port, either before or after, and how to get there. Like, how do you get to the cruise terminal? How do you get from the airport to the cruise terminal? We've used Viator before, and they also offer tours. So say if you're in Rome and you wanted to have them pick you up at the airport, take you to your hotel, and then you want to book a cruise tour through them for a day or so, you could do that too. They offer different tours. We use them from the airport to our hotel in Rome, and then we also use them from our hotel to the cruise port. The customer service was great. The vehicles were great. We had a van, even though it was just the two of us, we had a van from the airport. And I would definitely say, especially in Rome, it's a little more chaotic at the airport. From our hotel to the cruise port, we had like a brand new Mercedes, a driver in a suit and tie. I mean, he was great. We had great conversation the whole way, because depending on where you're going in and out of, the airport may be close. Like in Lisbon, it was only like 10 minutes. In Rome, for instance, airport's going to be about 45 minutes out. And the cruise port is then another 45 minutes to an hour out from the city center. That's another link I'll leave below, because we found them to be great. I know a lot of other people use them as well. You can find them in most cities. Of course, if you're in a city where you're pretty close to the cruise port, you could always just get a taxi. That's what we did in Lisbon. It was super easy. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any more questions, or I didn't answer your question completely, definitely leave me a comment below. I'll see you in the next video, and happy cruising. Bye.